Hello and welcome to this week's show. This week my very first ever acrylic painting, and this week I'd like to ponder the question: if our ancestors could see us now, what would they think? What do you think? Would they be alarmed? Well, I think that it's a bit of a mistake, a fairly common mistake, to look back on history and to judge our ancestors by the values that we have from the modern world, both in the way they lived and what they created. So, for example, we often do this with art. We look back in history and we call almost anything that we now regard as art, art. When in actual fact it's not really art if it was never created as art. Because art really is a modern concept. Therefore, it's only art to us. It was never art to those who created it. I don't really think that the ancient caves in the south of France, which have these beautiful paintings of animals all around the walls, which are quite often regarded as the first art by some people, I don't think that they were produced as art. Who knows why or how they were produced exactly? We don't know the specific reasons. Perhaps they were the result of some sort of shamanic ritual designed to conjure up the spirits of the animals that they were going to hunt or something. Who knows? But I really find it hard to believe that our ancient ancestors went down the caves where it was all dark, so no one was going to see anything anyway, and they thought, right, let's knock up a few masterpieces so that people millions of years from now, if not just tomorrow, can see them and go, whoa, by golly, that's a nice one. If only I could purchase it. But no, I don't think they were created for that reason. But we do look back on these things and say, well, that's art. A bit like also that Venus figurine of Willendorf from Austria that was found some 26,000 years old. And people say, well, that's one of the first artistic creations. Surely. Oh, I don't think so. It's probably more like something that was supposed to create fertility and stimulate fertility. Who knows? But it certainly wasn't produced by a modern person with the concept of art in their head, so for some other reason, I think. So if we make sort of mistakes in perception and looking back into history and the way that things were created, how would our ancestors, if they could see us now, looking forward, how would they see us? Would they make similar mistakes, and how would they view us? Would they be alarmed? Well, quite possibly. I think, considering people were generally more religious prior to modern times, they would look with the perspective of religious people. And they would look at us and probably see that in terms of the major religions, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, etc., they would probably see that we are bereft of those major religions in comparison to the way that they lived. But they may also look at us and see a new kind of religion, something that has been around for a very long time, but was certainly never a religion, but it could be regarded as a religion, certainly to some today. That is econism. Economics, the world economy. For some have taken on the world economy as a religion with a fairly fanatical fundamentalism. Like, for example, Mr. Bernard Madoff, who swindled billions, I think it was something like 50 billion of people in America. And we've also got this chap, John Thain, who was the CEO of Merrill Lynch, who seemingly blew billions of dollars and sort of helped his mates out and staff and so forth, as I think it was the Bank of America went down the gurgler. And he ended up spending $35,000 on a commode with legs. Sounds like I don't know, it sounds like one of those dragons in Indonesia. I don't know. I think it's a bedside table. And $1,400 on a trash can made of parchment. Now seriously, if someone from thousands of years ago could see that, what would they make of that behaviour? You know, I think that they would consider him sort of obsessed, you know, with money to the point where it's like I don't know, like a shaman dancing for days and days on end. They go into a trance and then they do very strange things. I don't know, it's bizarre, really. And it is like someone obsessed to the point where it is very strange behaviour, I think. I find it strange. So, what I'm suggesting is that the way that the world is now, right, and when you think about it, money does make the world go round now. I mean, we have ATMs, cash flow machines, you know, we're writing checks out, withdrawing money, paying money. Everything's going with money now, and we're watching the news for the economy, and everyone's focusing so much on the economy. And I think for some people it has become a bit of religion. Anyway, I'm just going to, before I carry on, I'm just going to show you this week's acrylic painting. I have no name for it. And there we are. No music this week. So, maybe it's better there, isn't it? Yeah, so anyway, there we go. So what I'm suggesting is that the world hasn't always been like this at all, and not so long ago, even in Victorian England and in Europe, probably most places in Victorian times, a couple hundred years ago, money wasn't that important. I mean, in Victorian England at that time, new money, whatever that was supposedly regarded as vulgar, and it certainly couldn't buy you a place in society or at court. Back then, apparently, such professions as doctors, lawyers, and even station masters were well valued in society because of the role that they performed. It wasn't as it is today, whereby really it's really, I see it as those professions which make a large amount of money that are valued far more than those that don't. So there you go. Just a few ideas about the culture that we live in now, which is fairly pertinent this year particularly, when we're waking up to the greed, the excessive greed of some. I'm not suggesting at all that most people are like this, but some certainly are, and unfortunately they have got there using other hard-working people's money. May they learn a lesson. Oh yes, I hope so. May we all learn a lesson from this experience. Thank you for watching this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've got thinking about this whole thing, this whole greed thing. Here's this week's painting. I hope you enjoyed that as well. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next week. Bye.